Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson. First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Harbick for he and the administration and faculty inviting me to speak at your commencement. And I'm sorry I can't be there personally because I already had taken a speaking engagement the night of your graduation. As a result, he asked if I could send this tape, and that's why you're seeing it now. I asked him what he would like me to speak on, and he said he'd like me to talk about your personal purpose in your life. Now, I believe very strongly that every one of us has been made by God with a very special purpose or purposes. Some of us have many multi-purposes, like some moms are bus drivers and schedulers and controllers and budget makers. They have many purposes, and some of us are like that. Some of us are talented enough to have many purposes. But no matter what they are, we make mistakes. One of the worst things about mistakes is they seem to attack our self-esteem. You make mistakes, I make mistakes. Thomas Jefferson said there isn't anything we do well until we do it many times over. We all make mistakes. Edison made 1,001 attempts by his own counting before he invented the light bulb. But thank God he kept trying. Walt Disney declared bankruptcy more than once. Babe Ruth struck out more times than he made home runs. And you and I will fail. It's part of our DNA. It's the human structure process. We make mistakes. We make wrong decisions. But the secret to success is forgiving yourself and to keep trying. Hurt, frustrated, mad at life, the people you encounter and can't figure out why. You're struggling with problems from which you cannot seem to free yourself. One of the greatest problems we face today is the ability to make clear decisions. And unclear decisions can literally drive you crazy, or so it would seem. But you may be surprised, these mistakes could be a blessing in disguise. If you cannot make a successful decision, then every aspect of your behavior is affected. But finally, you're hurting inside and not at all aware of how to stop that inner storm and the mistakes you keep making. Outside, you attempt to look like everything is okay and you're stable and calm, making your inner storm even greater because you're living your own personal lie. Before we even begin the decision process, we have to be aware where we are going. We have to make a goal. We have to say, this is what I want to do. Millions of people have no idea who they are or why they are here. So many of us wander in mental oblivion, making wrong decisions and watching our world crumble before our eyes and not even knowing why. Those of you who are graduating, the world is going to look to you for guidance and direction. You'd better know where you're going. A simple examination of who you are and why you're making wrong decisions can turn this troubling trend around in no time. And sometimes the solution is no further than a simple change of your mind. Now, before you even begin to wrestle with the process of making successful decisions, you need to understand your goals. What do you want to accomplish? What are you trying to do? Is it your goal that will determine your behavior? And if your goal is wrong, it's possible you need to change your goal. Let's suppose, for example, that just by thinking you've determined your goal is to rob a bank. Well, that's where your behavior says you're going to spend your time at, studying the schedules, figuring out what it takes to get the money, and that's not a morally good thing to do. But you spend a lot of time reaching your goal. That's why you want to fine-tune your goal and make it worthwhile. What is your goal? You should have 5 or 6 goals written down specifically, long-term and short-term, as to what you want to accomplish, and make sure you're accomplishing them. Now we get ready to deal with the problem when we understand the activity of what we're doing with our decision process, because it determines where we're going to be behavior-wise. If your goal is wrong, it's possible you need to change it. If your desire is to get a college degree, you spend a lot of time at college getting the credits. If your goal is to romance a significant other, you'll spend time getting to know people until you find one with interest. Whatever your goal determines your behavior, and that may be determining what's your success. So is your behavior satisfying? Are you trying to unrest inside yourself? Maybe you need to examine your goals and see where it puts you during the day. You must match your goals to the decisions you're making, determining first if your goal is worthwhile, and then why there are problems we need decisions because of the activity that's bringing you to your goals. And now you're ready to deal with a problem by going to the decision process. Keep in mind that the strongest determination should be the satisfaction you're getting out of the decisions you have to live with. Expert decision makers can go through the process quickly and solve many problems, while others are known for their wisdom. Too many people rely on impulse or intuition to work their decisions out, which ultimately causes us to experience divorce, delinquency, crime, war, and not besides just the decision makers living with the consequences. If we walk before we run, we need to slow down. If we slow our course down to determine the good and bad of what we're about to do and why we're about to do it, then we can greatly improve our activity and the quality of our life. That's one of the best things about prayer. It makes you stop and talk to God about what you're doing. Now you're ready to begin the decision-making process. So, what do you want to do? Why is it causing you problems? Why is there a decision necessary? And what methods are you going to take to get there? You want a significant other? You want romance? You want a close friendship or social life? Are you unhappy with your job? Would a raise solve that problem? And if the determination is that such is the case, what are you doing to make certain you deserve a raise on your job? Are you using your talents? Why or why not? Where is your passion? What is your passion? Where are you unhappy and why do you need to make a decision in the first place? These basic questions are all decisions that must be made. Now, it doesn't matter what your passions happen to be, but they tell you what your talents are and where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. If you are poor, there are many ways that you can try to get rich. But some of the decisions many people make to get their newfound money is neither healthy nor morally right. One of the greatest ways to help you make a decision is to study your own passions and desires and to understand where your talents want to take you. If you follow your passion, you'll be dominant. You'll understand what your own life is saying to your psyche. College students come to me wanting to know which college major they should study to get a degree. They always hear me ask the important questions, well, what do your talents tell you about yourself? If you're poor in math, you shouldn't be an accountant. If you have an excellent singing voice, then that's what you should be doing, singing. It's been given to you for a reason. What talents do you have? And where can you go out and make the most good for yourself and the people you'll be involved with? Are you making a proper choice that will guide your life because you're educated in your possible solutions, or are you taking a guess and a gamble and just seeing what happens? If I ask you, what are your talents and what do you want to do you have an educated answer? If there is a career you want to pursue, do you know what education is required so that you can get that career? If, as a parent, you're having trouble raising your child, you ever gone to a seminar on parent training skills? Are you aware of the education available to help you become a better parent? These solutions need to be researched. If you're not doing your homework, you're going to fail the test of life. What you need to do is find out how you can apply your talents. You need to make sure you know what your talents are. Just because you've done the research, you still have to supply the input as to what will be better for the decision-making process. You must honestly ask questions objectively and see where your research takes you. Maybe you have a talent for math, but you still hate the idea of being an accountant. You have to pay attention to yourself and the advantages as well as the disadvantages of making decisions. Now, you can make the wrong decisions, but that's okay. Wrong decisions are all right. You can work on those wrong decisions and make them right. Comes a time when the research and questioning stops. You have to get off the fence, make a decision. Let's suppose you want to make a decision on what kind of career to pursue. These 4 questions should be answered in your heart and mind, and then a choice needs to be made. Now, hopefully these last 4 years, or however long it took you to go through college, you've already asked these questions. But if you haven't, this is the time to write these questions down and ask them to yourself. Number 1, Can this career choice give me financial security? Number 2, will this career give me personal fulfillment? Number 3, is this career utilizing my special talent? And number 4, does this career meet most of my needs? The answer is yes to most of these questions. You might be on the right path to finding a worthwhile career. You can also ask these questions concerning your search for a significant other. If you change the key words, you can also change the key words to ask questions about raising your child. The difference between going with your gut and making an educated decision is taking time to research. First, research yourself. Who am I? What can I do? And then what should I do with others? Sometimes the best choice is temporary, depending on the circumstance. And that means that the choice will only work for a period of time. There are a few permanent decisions. In fact, believing that a decision is permanent is usually fatal. Getting married and assuming marriage is going to be permanent, no matter what, is almost always fatal. We can lose if we don't make the decision to refresh our marriage every day. Every new day of our job needs to be refreshing, and any relationship without fresh decisions is almost always fatal. There are short-term goals and long-term goals. We must identify which is which and how each applies to our situation or our situation. As the case may be, each plan, each decision is simply a starting point for living right, for making proper decisions, for making your life what you want it to be and what God is trying to do through you. Give Him the chance. Be creative. Search your options. Make a decision. Change them as you need to change, and learn to live happy. And in the wisdom of making the right and proper decision, you're going to make mistakes. Don't let it get you down. Forgive yourself. Give yourself time, and give yourself enough chance to find your proper movement and direction by choosing the right goals. Well, God bless you. May you have a great and exciting time with that college degree, and thank you for letting me talk to you.